What? Timo Werner finally scored. Finding Timo finally found himself a goal. Arsenal giving Leeds a Valentines Day special with Aubameyang dishing out a 3-course meal and Bellerin serving up the extra side of dessert. Man City giving Spurs the beat down, but I heard that a load of Spurs fans didn't really care because they knew they were going to lose. Eesh! Liverpool losing to Leicester. I think it's safe to say that the title defence is over. Yeah. Hi there guys, and welcome to a Dash for Sports Premier League review. I'll be your host and presenter Dashiki Dash, and as per usual I'll be giving you the roundup and results from all the games from this past week. And don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and shout out to all the new subscribers out there, it's much appreciated. And remember to check out the main show itself, a Dash for Sports. That's where I discuss all things sports related, hot topics and trending stories. So remember to press that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any of my shows. With that being said, let's get into these games. Welcome to a Dash for Sports Premier League review, Matchweek 24. And man, the week has gone by so quick, but it still managed to serve up another brilliant week of Premier League football. So without further ado, I'm going to jump straight into the games, starting off with Chelsea versus Newcastle. With Thomas Tuchel still undefeated as Chelsea extended their unbeaten run, beating Newcastle. Olivier Giroud and Timo Werner scored in a 9-minute first half spell to give Chelsea a 2-0 win over Newcastle United that takes them up to 4th place in the table. Giroud, an early substitute for injured Tammy Abraham, was on hand to score an opener after a Werner cross was diverted into his path by the Magpies goalkeeper Carl Darlow. And then Werner scored his first Premier League goal in exactly 1,000 minutes when Mason Mount's corner found its way to him at the far post. Goalkeeper Kepa, playing his first league match since October, had to save from John Joe Shelby and Joe Willock after the break as Newcastle responded. And at the opposite end, Darlow denied Marcos Alonso and Reece James. Chelsea are now ahead of Liverpool and West Ham on 42 points, 4 behind Manchester United and Leicester. Newcastle currently stay in 17th on 25 points, 7 ahead of Fulham. Timo Werner scored. Finding Timo, he finally found himself a goal. Man, it was scrappy. It was a scrappy goal, man, just about crossed the line. Keeper, obviously, Darlow tried to scoop it out, and he didn't even know whether to celebrate or not, because in that position, you're like, it's crossed the line, but, I'm still got to wait for the referee's buzzer. And listen, a goal is a goal. As the great Matt Astute says, a goal is a goal. And sometimes it just takes one of those kind of scrappy goals. If it comes off your shin, your shoulder, your nose. And on this occasion, he really had to dig it out and scoop it back into the goal. And it went in. So, boy, 1,000 minutes though. That's like what, 11 games? 11 games, yeah. 11 games without a goal. And he's finally scored. And the interview afterwards, obviously, he was happy, but you got to try and play it down, innit? And, he was still trying to maintain, I'm working hard, I'm assisting, but obviously I'm a striker, I need to score goals. But, as long as I'm doing to be fair, that's what it is. As long as you're doing all the other stuff, I think for Timo Werner right now, what he's been doing, at least he's been involved in the game. And he's lucky though. He has been lucky. Under Frank Lampard, he was getting untold amount of chances to play. You weren't really holding bench. And then Thomas Tuchel's come and he's just seen that obviously Werner needs confidence in it. And hopefully with this goal, it's going to build up some confidence for him to start scoring more goals. And next up, West Ham versus Sheffield United. And I tell you what, West Ham are playing some real good football, some real bubbly football. David Moyes has got them playing. West Ham eased past Sheffield United as Declan Rice, Issa Diop and Ryan Fredericks each scored their first Premier League goals of the season as the Irons blunted the Blades 3-0. After the home side had an early penalty decision overturned for offside by VAR, Rice then scored from the spot 4 minutes before half-time after Chris Basham brought down Jesse Lingard. David McGoldrick was denied a Sheffield United equaliser when Lucas Fabianski superbly tipped his header over the bar. Diop then doubled the lead in the 58th minute when he rose the highest to head Aaron Cresswell's corner into the far corner of the net. And Fredericks hit a late third after being set up by his fellow substitute Saeed Benrahma. The Hammers move above Liverpool to go 5th in the table on 42 points behind Chelsea on goal difference, while Sheffield United stay bottom on 11 points, 14 adrift of 17th place Newcastle United. Well, I'm not going to say too much about Sheffield United. The mere fact that they're rock bottom. They're right there at the bottom, man. And yeah, you already know about Sheffield United. West Ham, though, oh my goodness. I did not expect that from them this season. Did not expect that. And for me, I've always said that West Ham lack a real recognised striker. Someone that they haven't had a real good striker for years. Maybe like since Dean Ashton, and he had these injury problems as well. But he's found a way, David Moyes has found a way to get this team ticking over. A load of players are chipping in with goals. Souček is usually the goal scorer nowadays. Last season it was Antonio. But everybody else seems to be chipping it, and they're just playing really good football. The likes of Jesse Lingard obviously going to West Ham and playing his football with a smile on his face. So it just shows you that things are really going well for them. And David Moyes, yeah, man, gotta hand it to you, man. You're doing your thing. And now moving on to Sunday's round of games, and this one was a shock. Everton 0, Fulham 2. Oh my days. Josh Major served up some major pain as he scored twice on his first start for Fulham as his side ended their Goodison Park hoodoo with a 2-0 victory, ending a run of 14 consecutive Premier League defeats at Everton. Scott Parker's side started off brightly, and Bobby De Cordova-Reid's flick on from the corner in the 9th minute hit the post before Harrison Reed's drive flew fractionally wide. Everton did respond, however, they were denied an opening goal in the 34th minute when Seamus Coleman's 25-yard strike hit the outside of the post. Fulham took the lead on the 48th minute. Ola Aina played a 1-2 with Ademola Lookman and put on an inch-perfect pass across the 6-yard box where Major slid the ball home from 2 yards. Major doubled Fulham's lead to make the point safe, tapping the loose ball past Robin Olsen after Reed's 68th minute shot smacked the post. Fulham remain 18th place, but their first Premier League win at Goodison Park means that they've closed the gap on Newcastle to 7 points. Meanwhile, Everton remains 7th with 37 points. I'm just going to touch on Fulham quickly, and I've been watching them for the last couple of weeks, and I've got to say, they've been playing some decent football, you know. I think they've kind of changed their mindset. I don't know what Scott Parker's done, but their mindset has changed, and I feel like it's one of them ones they're playing with it without fear, you know. Before it was a bit timid, a bit naive. It felt like, you know, they were playing like they didn't belong in the Premier League, despite the fact they were playing some really good football in the Championship. And just like teams that come up into the Premier League, it's very hard to adjust in it, and they don't really have the personnel to really be going on week to really be getting these points. But lately, they've been playing some good football, and if they just keep grabbing points here and there like that, with the teams in and around them not performing great, yeah, you never know. You never know. And like my boy Semps from Views TV Official, Everton are the big pretenders every season. Always pretending. And I feel sorry for Man United fans because I know how this feels. You play a team like Arsenal played Wolves, and then the next game Wolves are just flopping. United play Everton. Everton grabbed that last minute, that last minute goal to draw, and then all of a sudden the following game they play Fulham and they lose 2-0. Man, no DCL though. No DCL means no HBK, no heartbreak. So it's going to be real tough for Everton, man. They got to get DCL back. On Valentines, Arsenal beat Leeds. Hey, on Valentines, Arsenal beat Leeds. Well, you can tell how I spent my Valentines. Well spent, as Arsenal beat Leeds 4-2. It was looking like it was going to be a St. Valentine's Day massacre, but Leeds, man, they showed some fight. They showed some fight. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, Dr. Alba, as I like to call him, scored his first Premier League hat-trick as Arsenal held off a Leeds United comeback to win 4-2 at the Emirates. Aubameyang scored his first on the 13th minute when he cut from the left-hand side before firing low beyond Meslier. Arsenal went 2-0 ahead from the penalty spot on the 41st minute as Aubameyang sent Meslier the wrong way after Leeds goalkeeper had fouled Bukayo Saka. Danny Ceballos' nutmeg pass after a slick team move then set up Hector Bellerin, who beat Meslier at his near post for Arsenal's third on the stroke of half-time. Aubameyang completed his treble 2 minutes after the break with a close-range header from Emil Smith-Rowe's delivery. Pascal Strike's header reduced the arrears in the 58th minute, and Helder Costa added a second 11 minutes later before Aubameyang was denied his fourth as he hit the post. Arsenal's biggest home win of the season moves them above Leeds to 10th spot on 34 points, while Leeds dropped to 11th, 2 points behind the Gunners. Let me just say this, brilliant game. Brilliant, and I'm not just being biased because it was Arsenal. I love watching Leeds play. If you heard me talk about Leeds from the beginning of the season, I said, this is the team. This is my team away from my team, because I grew up watching Leeds and I know how good they used to be, and it's so refreshing to see that they're playing great football in the Premier League. The style of football they're playing, is it sustainable? Can they still go on this whole season playing like this? I think so, but the thing about Leeds is this: when they score goals, they score loads of goals in it. They can beat teams. They're capable of beating teams. When they concede goals, they concede a load of goals as well. So they just got to get the fine balance, because there's a lot of games that they shouldn't be losing, but they lose because they are very, very strict in how they play. They play one way and they love to play football. They're not really in the business of trying to play a certain way to, safeguard a win or something like that. They just go hammer and tongue in it. So I hope if they do survive, which I think they will survive this season, I just hope next season they find a way that's just going to be able to get the points they need, but also win the games when it's, real tough. Those tough games that they need to get points and they need to win, I hope they find a way to do that. And just quickly touching on Arsenal, obviously last week losing to Aston Villa, conceding that early goal, and we literally had about 90 minutes of the game. To get something from the game, that was real disappointing, but to face a really good side, a good footballing side in Leeds, and beating them 4-2, although there were some shaky moments once they got the 2 goals back, it was a really good match. And the positive thing was to see Aubameyang scoring goals, man, and he looked really confident. He's playing with a smile on his face. Thank God, obviously his mum's doing well. He thanked the Arsenal, he thanked the Arsenal teammates, he thanked the backroom staff, he thanked the fans. So he looks like he's right back in it again. I wouldn't say that he's back. Obviously, it's only been 1 game, so hopefully with the hat-trick that he scored, it gives him the confidence. Arsenal playing Benfica in Europa, so hopefully with that in itself, he's going to be able to do bits and finish the season, man, firing, because, listen, he's a great striker. He's a great striker, and the confidence has hit him badly this season. So hopefully with that hat-trick, he can kick off and start scoring again. And moving on to West Brom versus Manchester United. And I tell you what, man, the inconsistency in this league is mad. Especially for Man United. Drawing against Everton last week, which would have felt like a loss. That last-minute heartbreak and pain. And then this week, drawing with West Brom, more drop points. Man, they literally could be pushing Man City. Really could be pushing Man City, but they're just not consistent enough. Bruno Fernandes scored a brilliant volley, but it was all in vain as Manchester United were held to a 1-1 draw at West Brom. West Brom went ahead in the 2nd minute when Mbaye Diagne headed in Conor Gallagher's cross for his first Premier League goal. Man United got back on level terms after 44 minutes when Luke Shaw picked out Fernandes, whose volley flew past West Brom goalkeeper Sam Johnston. After the break, Mason Greenwood and Scott McTominay both had efforts cleared off the line. Diagne also had 2 chances for a second goal. He was also denied by an excellent David De Gea save when he was clean through before firing over from close range. But the Baggies needed a magnificent Johnston save to secure a point as he tipped over Harry Maguire's header on the post in the final minute of stoppage time. Despite only getting a point, Man United move up to second with 46 points, but they lose ground this week on Manchester City, who are 7 points clear with a match in hand. Meanwhile, West Brom stay in 19th place on 13 points, and this point ain't going to do them no harm. Like, you know, I'm sure they would have gone into this game not expected anything from the game. When you look at the fixtures on paper anyway, you're like, oh, Man United this week. Don't know, man. But listen, like I said, man, a load of teams are very inconsistent this season. And the likes of Man United, if they would have just literally beat Everton, beat West Brom, they'll be right there close to Man City. But unfortunately, the inconsistency, yeah, it's there to be seen. And the next game, Southampton versus Wolves, as Wolves got themselves some much needed sweet revenge as they lost at home to Southampton in the FA Cup. Pedro Neto scored a stunning winner as Wolverhampton Wanderers came from behind to claim a 2-1 victory at Southampton. Southampton had control of the first half and took a 25th minute lead when Stuart Armstrong crossed for Danny Ings, who scored a spectacular volley, his first goal since the 4th of January. But Wolves rallied after the break and drew level with a Ruben Neves penalty, which was awarded after Nelson Semedo's shot had hit Ryan Bertrand's hand. Neto then completed a turnaround in the 66th minute, tricking his way past Yannick Vestergaard and curling in from a tight angle. Shea Adams went close to a leveller for Southampton, who slipped to a point and a place behind their opponents with a 6th successive league defeat. Wolves rise now to 12th after a first win in 7 away matches. Not a lot to say about these two teams. Obviously, Southampton, very inconsistent. I still think that they haven't recovered after that 9-0, but they're going to need to do something about it because they were in a great position in European places, Champions League spots, and now all of a sudden they're just slipping down the table. With Wolves, man, what can I say? Points, 3 points on the board. The manager's been slyly and slowly, people have been getting onto the manager and questioning whether or not he's the man for the job. But I think that the Santos is the man for the job, but they're just going through a hard time, especially the fact that they don't have their main striker, Jimenez, who's a major key for their team. But when he comes back, hopefully he comes back soon, then they can try and kickstart their season and work their way up the table. And then moving on to Saturday's round of games, starting off with the late kickoff of Saturday evening, Brighton versus Aston Villa in a ball score 0-0 draw. Aston Villa goalkeeper Emiliano Martinez was the hero as his side held Brighton to a goalless draw at the Amex Stadium. Brighton did have the better of the chances in the first half with Leandro Trossard and Dan Burn, but they were denied superbly by Martinez. Although Ross Barkley fired an effort straight at Robert Sanchez for the visitors, Brighton continued to threaten after the interval. Alexis McAllister's deflected shot drew another smart stop from Martinez, and after Neil Maupay fired just wide, followed by Joe Veltman and Adam Lallana, who were also kept out by the Argentinian goalkeeper, who in fact made 9 saves during the game to keep his 12th clean sheet of the season. Aston Villa now move up to 8th place with 36 points, 4 points behind 4th place Liverpool with 2 matches in hand. Meanwhile, Brighton, who extended their unbeaten Premier League run to a club record 6 matches, are in 15th place, currently sitting on 26 points. It's not the question that I really like going over again, but Martinez, Arsenal, was Arsenal wrong to let go of Martinez? I think that's an obvious question for most people. For me, you know, I still stand by the fact that it was a tricky situation, innit? It was a tricky situation with Martinez obviously being at Arsenal for 10, 11 years. To go that extra season to try and see whether or not he'll be able to get that #1 jersey, I don't think it was something that he was prepared to do. And luckily enough, Arsenal were able to get him a decent move at a club that's playing some really good football at times. And listen, he's doing very well. That's 12 clean sheets during this season. He's doing really well, and he's a great shot stopper, and he makes a load of saves and matches, man. So the reason why Arsenal won the FA Cup and the Community Shield is due to Martinez. So I wish him all the best, man, and hopefully next season now, because we ain't got Aston Villa that beat us twice. So hopefully next season you're not on this rich vein of form, man, because we need to score goals against you. And now moving on to this beatdown that a load of Spurs fans were expecting to receive by Man City, and the citizens, man, they did not disappoint. UK Gundogan's hot streak continued with 2 more goals as Manchester City beat Tottenham Hotspur to extend their lead to 7 points. City did dominate the first half but only had Rodrigo's 23rd minute penalty awarded for a foul on Gundogan by Pierre-Emile Højbjerg to show for it. Harry Kane came the closest for Spurs, but the spectacular free kick on the 14th minute struck the woodwork. 5 minutes after the break, Gundogan doubled City's lead, firing a left-footed shot beyond Hugo Lloris after being played in by Raheem Sterling. The German's second goal of the match and 9th of the season came in the 66th minute when he collected a superb long ball by Ederson before finishing. An 11th straight league win leaves City sitting on 53 points, and they can go 10 points clear of Manchester United and Leicester City if they win their game in hand against Everton on Wednesday. Meanwhile, Spurs lie in 9th on 36 points. Now, I don't mean to laugh, but I do mean to laugh. I think it's safe to say that at this present moment, Spurs are in a bit of an indifferent type of form. The games that Harry Kane has missed has disrupted the way that Spurs have played. He still looks very threatening though, and don't get it twisted. Spurs with Harry Kane are a different proposition. With Son as well, they're a different proposition. But they just need to get the defence are just making a load of mistakes at the moment. And I feel like also the midfield as well, it's a bit non-existent. If Kane doesn't drop into that midfield to go and collect the ball and then feed the likes of Son, then nothing's really happening. But listen, football is a weird game. All of a sudden, it could just take one win and they're back onto it, and then Jose Mourinho finds another winning formula. So you can't really count them out. Will they get Champions League spots? I don't know. I don't think they're consistent enough, but Europa is there. It's available for the taking, but I can't really see Spurs getting the Champions League spot. What can I say about Man City, man? They're doing their thing. They're doing their thing, and without a recognisable striker. I know that they got Jesus there. He's a striker, yeah, but come on, man, Aguero. Although he hasn't been the Aguero of old, I think he's injured. He should be back because he was sitting on the bench against Spurs, and they didn't even need to bring him on. That's how they controlled the game. But they're without KDB at the moment as well, Kevin De Bruyne, and they're still doing bits. Gundogan is just firing. He's firing. Sterling playing well. Foden playing well. Everybody just seems to be playing well. Their defense is, they're not conceding goals. Man, have they got the league? Are they going to win the league? Yeah, man, I think so. But the most important thing now is City versus Spurs in the League Cup. And Spurs, fair warning, man, if you turn up in a cup final playing like that, with that type of attitude, yeah, man, it's going to be another year on top of the 15 years without any trophies, and that's going to be tough. Tough for the likes of Harry Kane and that, but tough for you Spurs fans as well. Moving on to the next game, Crystal Palace versus Burnley, and I'm going to say it now, man, I think this might be Roy Hodgson's last season at Crystal Palace. I've just got that feeling that I think he's come to the end of the road. A brilliant goal from Matthew Lowton capped a comfortable 3-0 win for Burnley at Crystal Palace. Burnley surprised Palace with 2 goals in the opening 10 minutes at Selhurst Park, as Johan Berg Gudmundsson scored his second in as many matches, curling in the 5th minute after a cross was not cleared. The Clarets doubled their lead 5 minutes later with Dwight McNeil's corner was headed in by Jay Rodriguez. Palace's best chance came when Christian Benteke's low shot was saved by Nick Pope and Jordan Ayew's 34th minute effort was blocked. Burnley sealed their win 2 minutes into the second half when Lowton linked up with Rodriguez before his superb volley for his first league goal since April 2013. Sean Dyche's side currently lie in 16th place on 26 points, 11 clear of the bottom 3. Meanwhile, Palace are 2 places and 3 points above them, having played a match more than Burnley. Like I said, I think Hodgson's time is done. Roy Hodgson, I think his time is done. Although he would say that he's still got plenty to give, but I think the age factor, and I'm not trying to be ageism here, I'm just mentioning the fact of Like what we're seeing at the present moment is not great from Crystal Palace. This is, even Crystal Palace, once in a while, they show up, but lately they're not showing up. And yeah, man, it's just, they're so inconsistent. Always. You can never put your money on Crystal Palace, man. But let's just see what happens. But that's my prediction for the season. I think that it will be a case where they will amicably come to an agreement, an arrangement to, you know, split ways and, you know, cut ties. Because I think Crystal Palace do really respect Roy Hodgson. He's given a lot to the game, but I think the time is up for him. And then last but not least, the game that kicked off match week 24, the early kickoff of 12:30, Leicester versus Liverpool. Leicester City scored 3 goals in 8 minutes to come from a goal down to beat Liverpool 3-1 at the King Power Stadium. Liverpool dominated much of the first half but couldn't take advantage as Kasper Schmeichel denied Robert Firmino twice. Jamie Vardy struck the crossbar with Leicester's best chance of the half, but then the champions took the lead in the 67th minute with Firmino's outrageous back heel to find Mohamed Salah, who then side-footed it for his 17th goal of the season. James Maddison levelled with 12 minutes remaining with a free kick from the side of the area that found a net with an offside call overturned by the VAR. Less than 3 minutes later, Vardy pounced on a mix-up between stranded Alisson and debutant Ozan Kabak to score into an empty net and put Leicester ahead. The Foxes sealed the win with 5 minutes remaining when Wilfred Ndidi put a pass behind for Harvey Barnes to run onto and score. Leicester goes second on 46 points, while Liverpool stay fourth, 6 points behind them. Alisson, man, Alisson, what is going on? You know what, if you analyse things properly, and you will see this with many goalkeepers, when their defence is not assured, they start trying to overcompensate, trying to be sweeper keeper, doing the most, and these are the goals that are being conceded right now. I've seen it with Alisson, I've seen it with Bert Leno as well, in the game that he got sent off. Once the defence is just... Once your defence is lacking, the goalkeeper just, their mind just goes. And he's been costing Liverpool hard. This is unlike him. I don't even know how he's going to be able to get over this. He's a top goalkeeper, so I'm sure he will, but this is not doing Liverpool any favours. Anyway, before I wrap up for today, let's take a look at the league table itself, the points, the positions, where everybody is, and not much has changed. It's good to see Leicester up there, though. They're still fighting. Although I say that they're inconsistent, but they're still up there. Man United is still up there. They could have easily have pushed closer to Man City if they'd won their 2 games, but they haven't. But the rest of it, as you can see, is pretty much the same. Chelsea have pushed up into the top 4 position, which is what they're after to salvage the season. And the rest of it below there, if you look, now, just look at Arsenal, and I'm not trying to be, well, I'm biased, innit? Look at Arsenal, 34 points. You look at Liverpool, 40 points. So the league table, if you're looking at the positionings, you'll be thinking, Arsenal, look at where you are. But hey, we're quite close up there, man. You just got to keep pushing. Like I said, it's just 2 or 3 games. If you can get that on a bounce, you could push your way up to the table. My aim is still for Champions League, man. I want Arsenal to make Champions League, but it's going to be very tough. Very tough with the teams ahead playing well. Like I said, West Ham playing some really good football at the moment, getting the points that they need. David Moyes has got them going out there. And there's many other teams, man, fighting for that top 4. So only 4 positions and about 8, 9, 10 teams trying to go for it. So it's going to be a real race to the Champions League. Anyway, that's a wrap for today, but let me know if there's any standout moments that you enjoyed or you didn't enjoy, if there's any games that you liked or you didn't like. And for me this week, come on, man, you already know. Arsenal beating Leeds 4-2. That was the highlight of my week, my footballing week. What else? Man City giving Spurs the beat down. was enjoyable. It's always good when Arsenal win and Spurs lose. You know what I mean? You can feel, you can feel good about yourself. Let's just say that. West Ham really. Like I said, man, I'm really liking the way they're playing football at the moment. So that was definitely a game that I enjoyed. Apart from that, there weren't anything that I disliked for this week. So it's been a great week of football and I can't wait until next week. Anyway, let me know how you felt about match week 24. Did your team win, lose or draw? And how well is your team doing so far this season? And don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Smash that like button, comment and help me to get these subs up. And if you are subscribed already, I truly appreciate your love and support. Thank you so much. And if you need further information about future episodes or just your day-to-day sporting updates, hey, come and check me out. I'm on Instagram and I'm also on Twitter, which is @sports. I'll put it down below here at @sports and I'll also leave it in my description so that you got a direct link. And remember to check out my main show, @sports. That's where I discuss all things sports related, hot topics, and trending stories. So remember to press the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any of my shows. Until the next time here on @sports Premier League review, peace.